Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brandon, your trusted realtor, and I'm coming to you with another great episode. Today, I want to finish up a thought that I had from a video earlier in the week where I talked to you about a new you and a new home in the year and plans to make preparation to get into that property and smash the new year. But one of the things that's really important in order for you to be able to get into that process and that building or that foundational step is being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself, and that begins with tracking your finances, tracking your expenses. And one of the things that quite often happens is that there's a structural hurdle that individuals, it's so easy for someone to receive a deposit and to swipe their card and to not see those funds, not to see that money is taken out. Even some cases where there are financial institutions where they actually hold your payment for a period of time before it actually processes out of your account. How many of us have seen a pending transaction that took 2 or 3 or 4 days to go through? We all have situations like this, but the reality comes is that the difference between someone who is a homeowner and someone who continues to rent, in part, not fully, but in part, is really that management and the recognition of their income. This is especially key when it comes to tracking, saving, knowing what goes in the door, what goes out of the door. In fact, the Federal Reserve reported that in the second quarter of 2019 that there was $13.86 trillion of debt. That is a significant, monumental number of people that owe money. Things like auto loans, credit cards, a significant number of that mortgage payments, and other types of indebtedness that exist in the ecosystem. And one of the things that you have to ask yourself when you are a renter and you're preparing yourself to own a home is that you have to come to grips with the facts that you have to manage your finances. When you have a home, your home is an asset. And I talked to you before about deferred maintenance and continued maintenance. Having an asset means that you have to spend some time and invest in it. When you are investing in your home, that's what I like to call invisible money, because you won't see any type of return on that money immediately. And let's just be honest, it's real difficult to cough up $1,300 or $2,000. I most recently redid the concrete in front of my house and paid almost $4,000, really a steal, because I was able to talk the guy down and I tipped him. So I ended up paying about $4,000 to redo the concrete. That is invisible money. There's times now where I look in my account and I go, hey, I could have taken that $4,000 and bought some Tesla stock, or I could have done something else with that money. But there's an inherent and an intrinsic value to the work that I put into that maintenance. And it won't come today and it won't come tomorrow, but there'll come a day where I'll return dividends, because someone will look at this property when they want to rent it, because I ain't selling it. And when they want to rent this property, they'll say, the deciding factor was that the home, the front of the appearance of that home was someplace that I was willing to pay X amount for, because the concrete looks nice, the aesthetic looks nice. And these are small things that make the difference. If you don't believe me, I was actually out with renters the other day, and in my mind, my whole thought process was just make a decision. But here the renter was nitpicking, like, well, the bathroom doesn't match the aesthetic of the rest of the house, and they enhance it here. And I'm thinking, you're just gonna live in this place a year, and then I'm going to get you a house of your own, which will have these things. But even renters are particular about themselves. You as a renter, and I'm talking to you, you know how particular you are. You wanted this and you wanted that accoutrement. And as a result, you had to pay, or you were willing to pay, a price or a premium for that. And as a result, because we're willing to pay those prices or those premiums, we feel that we have to pay those prices or those premiums in other places in our lives. And that's echoed in other places. So that's echoed in keeping up with brunches and lunches and friends, having this accessory, having that accessory. And then what ends up having is that our obligation or our focus shifts unknowingly, because we just swipe here, we swipe there, and we don't think about it. So it is vastly important that before you even begin the process or the transaction of purchasing a home, that you're honest with yourself about your finances. I am in the business of helping you get into a home and to create wealth for yourself. And that wealth begins with you making the decision that this is something that you want individually, and putting together the tools that you need. So one way or tip to do that, if you're managing or budgeting different multiple payments, is to look into debt consolidation. Now, debt consolidation is going to be a way for you to get one consistent payment for all of your actions, for all of the different payments that you have in your life, auto, credit cards, etc. And you can consolidate different debt by getting a loan through a lender or through some other financial institution that's going to empower you to have a one-time payment. Now, debt consolidation isn't for everyone. If you can't change your spending habit, debt consolidation is not going to be for you. If you have a small amount of debt, then it's not realistic for you to take out a loan that you're going to have to pay interest or pay that money back. And if your credit history may stop you from qualifying for this, or if you have shaky or suspect credit right now, you just have not good or bad credit, then you're not going to be a candidate for debt consolidation. But what that means is you're going to have to be consistent and you're going to have to be diligent. A lot of people were in a place where they are managing their credit, where they have made or committed to obligations. So one of the things that I want to commit to you is that when you reach out to me and say that, hey, I'm interested in going through the process, whether you qualify for a loan right now, I am in it with you to win it. I'm in this process, so I'll be able to provide you financial resources and recommendations. I have financial worksheets that I provide to my clients, as well as payment calculators, and I showed that in one of my previous videos. It's essential that you understand and you can visualize conceptually not only the total amount of debt that you have, but the amounts that you need to pay and put to the side in order to pay that down, and the time frames to pay that down. Remember, the name of the game is planning. And one of the big things about planning is being honest with yourself and looking at the big picture. So as you go forward in this year, remember, it's vastly important to track your finances. It's important that you reach out to people who are creditors that can potentially explain your situation to you. Some tips that you can take away right now, if you're in a situation where you have adverse credit or challenge credit, is that you can begin to take these proactive steps. You don't have to have or hire a third-party company that's going to work on your behalf in order to help you restore your credit. Reach out to your creditors and explain to them your situation and ask them if they will provide you with a lower payment or cut any fees or reduce their interest rate that they're charging you. In many instances, a creditor will come up or be willing to make an arrangement with you in order to help you out, especially if you're showing the ability up front to either make a payment or a willingness to go on a payment arrangement. Another option is to speak with a certified credit counselor. Now, whether you have a credit card now, some of the programs that are offered with those credit cards include a credit counselor. In addition to that, if you go onto HUD's website, HUD.gov, they have different lending or nonprofit organizations that have certified housing counselors that can also connect you with credit counselors or credit counseling organizations, or sometimes they have those services. And if you live in the DC, Maryland, or Virginia region, I have contacts with lenders directly that I can put you in place with, and they will talk you through and put together a comprehensive plan of what it is or what the steps are you need to take and things you need to reduce. I'm currently working with about just over a dozen clients that are going through that exact process. And the name of the game is a plan in order to kill it. And also be aware of debt settlement companies, because those debt settlement companies, as I said before, they will charge you a fee. And I'm a big proponent that if you have the information and the knowledge that you need, you don't need a third party to work on your behalf. What you have to do, and what's most important, is rolling up your sleeves, collecting the information that you need, being honest with yourself, using the tools that are available to you, even if they're the most basic of Excel tools, and taking action. Remember, it begins with you. My name is Brandon. I'm your trusted realtor. I look forward to being your source and your resource for all of your real estate needs. Remember to crush it here in 2021 and every year forward. I look forward to being your resource. Take care and talk to you soon.